Om Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnunarayan Krishna Krishna Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamanniti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyati Deshatane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna. So today's verse is from chapter 2, shloka number 5. So I'll read the shloka and the translation. So it goes like this. Guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhaktum bhaikshyam apiha loke hatva takamam stu guru nihaiva bhunjiya bhogan rudira pradigdhan. So translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. It would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. So here in the previous shlokas, if we see and we come to this is where all the another couple of shlokas, the turning point happens and Arjuna surrenders. But before this, we have to understand why he is making these statements. So Arjuna is thinking not to kill his superiors or teachers. It's not worth and it's not going to be good in the long term. But if we read the purport, Prabhupada mentions about the scriptural quotes where it is advised that if someone is against the scripture, be it a leader or a teacher, you have to reject them, be it any position. Okay, so if we see from the history part, we have Shukracharya, who was rejected by Bali Maharaj because he was being materialistic. So Shukracharya was trying to impose or suppress Bali Maharaj not to go to, he was advising not to go to Vaman Dev, he will take away everything. So in the history we see that also, and there's also in the contemporary or in the recent, if you see the history also of Sriman Ramanujacharya. So Srila Ramanujacharya also, when he was a young boy, in the early days, he went to Yadava Prakash. So Yadava Prakash was an impersonalist. Impersonalist means who believes, who has a faith that God does not have any form, any attributes. So that was the that was the teachings he used to have, and he used to preach everybody. So in Kanchipuram, that was all he was doing, and all his students or general public. That was the implications which had, and Ramanujacharya did not, accept this. Though being a student, he used to somehow, counterattack. Counterattack as in a humble way. He used to tell his teacher, the doctrine or the Vedas, what it has mentioned. It is clearly told that it should be whatever the translations or the details which have been, it has to be accepted the way it is. But he used to somehow interpret in his own manner, and he used to preach impersonalism. So God does not have form. We are also God. After we leave this body, we also have the same attributes as God. So that was the teachings which I had. So Ramanujacharya never accepted that. So for that purpose, they had the plan to kill Ramanujacharya. So, anyways, in any case, Ramanujacharya never protested or made any publicly anything. He never complained anything about Yadava Prakasha. He went on with his preaching, and that's when he met Yamunacharya. And later on, when Yamunacharya left his body, so he became the Acharya. And if we actually have a full-fledged class, so we can go into the details of that. So that's when, after he preached so much, Yadava Prakash and his students surrendered later to Ramanujacharya. So the point what I'm trying to make here is, when you see in the current circumstances also, when we meet our leaders, be it spiritual leaders or somebody in the public figure, anybody who somebody goes against the scriptures, don't accept them. So Srila Prabhupada mentioned that even in our movement, we have to get the right association. It's not that just because everybody wears tilak, dhoti, kurta, or somebody from outside also, we can accept them as take the instructions. So the instruction should be where you get they show you the path for going to Lord. If it is against something scripture, we have to reject them, so we cannot accept. So that is one discretion we have to try to make out the differences. We have to try to make, um, be it anyone, even if it even if you're it may be your close friends or close ones. So that is very very important. Or else what happens is, if we fall into the wrong path, we will be committing mistakes, we will be committing sins. And we have there are so many scenarios where people become faithless, or even they become atheist. Okay, so to reference to this particular shloka, I would like to reference another shloka, which is 14.7. If you have time today, please read, because accepting a guru and knowing about the Lord is very important. And the personality who shows you the way, he will be the acharya, or the spiritual person in your life. So the spiritual guidance is required. And Srila Prabhupada, being the Acharya of, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, we accept his teachings because it is coming from the Sampradaya, as in the line which has been coming down one after another from Krishna, Brahma, Narada, Vyasa, Madhvacharya, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So many Acharyas, one by one, they have come. So this is all genuine. This is authentic, and the purpose is not simple. They have been referenced to various other scriptures and various other acharyas. From there, the conclusion has been taken, and Prabhupada is presented to us. So nothing is out of syllabus, we can say. So Bhagavad Gita, if you see, it is the ABCD in spiritual life, but it is whole and soul. Okay, so again, I'm mentioning 2.5 talks about the spiritual leaders or the leaders, and why we have to reject if they do not follow on the path. And to reference to the story I mentioned about personal and impersonal, Lord gives the answer, and you can go through 14th and 15th chapter. It has been mentioned about this. So on this auspicious day, because it's since it's Ekadashi, Ekadashi doesn't mean, because it's very famous all over in India. Many people follow the fast and the regulations, rules and regulations. But more than fasting, like not eating, it's more reading, more chanting. So I request everybody on this day to read more and more books. You have Bhagavad Gita, you can read more shlokas. Chant more. If somebody is chanting few runs, you can increase that today. So the point is to engage more in the service of the Lord today, rather than spending more on other activities. So since it's a Sunday, it's more easy for you and comfortable to follow Ekadashi. So we have another 5 minutes. I would end here, but if somebody has any questions, you can unmute and ask me.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
I was just like listening to Ramanujacharya. So I just wanted to know, like, why does Ramanujacharya have two big holes near his ears. This was like, and why he only worships only Shanku and Chakra?
Okay.
What is the importance of that?
Okay, I'm not aware of this, Mati. I'll try to find out. But
Huh.
anyway, he is the incarnation of Adishesha,
Yeah.
Baladeva. So that I know, but I have to still research this. I'm not aware of what you mentioned about the ear holes and Shankar Chakra, of course, because he's the expansion of the Lord. So being
Hmm.
previously Lakshmana, so and Balarama, so that portion maybe that's why he's worshipping. But I'm not aware of the
Okay, okay.
ear part what you told.
Because I was just listening to one of the sessions day before yesterday of Statue of Equality. So I
Okay.
just thought maybe you would be aware of it. And so I just put the question forward. But of course, his biography and history is wonderful.
Yes, yes,
So
he's a
as you were taking up the session, so I thought it would be useful for me to know more about it.
Yes, Mataji. Yes. So there are few books which within many ISKCON also they have written about Ramanujacharya. I've just gone through
Hmm.
one book and I'm not aware of the small details what you have mentioned. So maybe we have to do more research on that. Authentic from Ramanujacharya Sampradaya, books and pastimes. We have to understand this part.
Okay, and whose expansion is Adi Shankaracharya, Prabhuji?
He is Lord Shiva's expansion, Mataji. He is the incarnation of Lord Shiva.
Okay, Lord Shiva is also from Sri Krishna itself, right?
Yeah, so the example I can give you is about the milk and the curd, Mataji. So
Huh.
in the spiritual world, see, we have in a basic thing, we are in material world. That means Devi Dhama. Okay, so Devi Dhama means this is controlled by Durga. Okay, Durg means fort. So we are controlled. We are kind of living in a jail. So above this Devi Dhama is Mahesha Dhama. Mahesha Dhama means Lord Shiva. So it is the border of where the impersonal Brahman, where only the light emanates. That portion is where Mahesha Dhama comes, and beyond that is Vaikuntha Dhama and Goloka Dhama. Now the example of milk and curd is many people argue or don't accept it, but there is a difference between milk and curd. A milk can turn into curd, but curd cannot turn back into milk again, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so the point here I'm trying to make is though Lord Shiva has been expanded into different ways from the Lord himself, there is a difference in the different incarnations. So we have to see the potencies of different incarnations also. Lord Shiva has been assigned for a particular potency here to destroy whenever the time comes. Okay, so even in Bhagavad Gita also he mentions about that. Even in scriptures also it has been mentioned. He is one of the guna avatara. So there are three gunas. So Brahma also is an avatar of the Lord Vishnu himself, or Lord Krishna. There are three gunas: sattva, rajasic and tamasic. So everyone handles one guna. I hope this is helpful, Mataji.
Some sort of, yeah. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
If Lord Shiva is a guna of Lord Krishna, then why is he called a demigod?
Mhm. Now there
And
are
even Brahmaji is called a demigod.
yeah. Mataji, one thing is the Devata, in English, if you translate it is demigod. These demigods, some of them have been acquired that position, or some of them are expansions of the Lord. So now the potencies are carried forward. They are not full-fledged potencies. Okay. So for example, in a company, if you see, you'll see if I take the example of Infosys, Narayan Murthy, I can see the full-fledged potency had to start the Infosys company. But if you see the co-founders and others, they were all little less potent because the main person was Narayan Murthy. Okay, so similarly, they have been given, these devatas have those potencies or empowered by the Lord for certain reasons. Okay, so that's why they will not exhibit the complete potency what the Supreme Lord has. For particular purpose, they will come into this world to manage the worldly affairs. That's why they have been termed as devatas. Of course, they're very, very great and they're very powerful than what we are, but they are not the supreme, I'm saying. Okay, so that is how you can discriminate. If you see the Tata company also, Ratan Tata is the supreme in his company, but that doesn't mean even now he's retired and his MD are there. That doesn't mean the MD will become the supreme. Still, Ratan Tata will be the supreme in the company, though he has retired. So, are you understanding, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay. So it's 7 o'clock. As per the standard time, we will end here. So thank you again for the opportunity given here. And that was a good question about, it's a homework, the two homeworks to read the Bhagavad Gita, the shlokas I said, and also to find out the ear holes Mataji mentioned. So this is a very nice topic. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, I'll end the class here. Hare Krishna.